All right, guys, welcome aboard to the Force Multiplier Next Level. This is the second in the series of workshops that we're doing as part of the Force Multiplier software launch that we did, and I'm happy you guys are here. This is to help you take what I've showed you previously and really take this thing to the next level. We're going to be going over some different techniques and whatnot. This will be available in the members area, so for those of you that have already asked, will there be a replay? Yes, this is going to be in the members area. Let me show you real quick where these are. If you go to tutorials, you go right here to bonus workshop. That's where they're going to be. Okay, so you'll see this right here. Now, I know this looks kind of awkward with this template that we're using, but you can expand that into full screen mode just like that right there. Okay, so if you want to watch it back pedal and kind of watch it, then you can always go in full screen mode. Also, on the tutorials, I want to touch on this too. Somebody sent in and said, oh, this CMS needs video, and this is complicated. Look, most of you guys are not going to need this. This is more of a troubleshooting type guide, like if you have any kind of issues, kind of what the software is running on, or what it integrates with in terms of hosting, where to find certain files, if you're wanting to make certain modifications, like if you're wanting to dig in and you're wanting to make modifications to like different types of files and things like that. I don't know why you would need that, but some people may if they're doing any kind of troubleshooting. So that's what that is. So most of you will not need that. Most of you can just go to the video tutorials or the bonus workshop. Okay. So I'll be taking questions as we go along throughout. If you got a question or whatever, if I don't get to it, just stick around. That means I'm not ignoring you. It just means that we got a lot of people on and we got a lot of people coming into the chat box because my workshops tend to be a little more interactive. People will talk to me and stuff like that, and that's you're going to get more out of it by doing that. But sometimes stuff gets buried. It's not I'm not ignoring you. So if you've got a question, hang around to the end and just ask me again. So with that being said, let's get going. So here we are, and again, I'm on the PC, so I'm not familiar with where everything is at like I normally am because I'm using a Mac. This is one of my SEO machines. So I've got this one. It's a pretty big machine, and this is what I run GSA on. I run some of the other tools that I run. So here's what we're going to be covering today. We're going to be talking about scraping for content. Some of you guys wanted to kind of get an idea of how I'm scraping for content. I'll show you what I'm using. We're going to be talking about using different landers, different phone numbers for maximum effect. So in other words, one of the things that I didn't really advertise when we were promoting Force Multiplier was that you can apply different phone numbers. You can have a different pop-up lander for each post or page. Okay, and I'll show you how that actually works. And that's really going to benefit you if you're doing any kind of local SEO. We'll talk a little bit about retargeting, how you can use retargeting in Force Multiplier. We're going to be discussing how you use video with Force Multiplier and what the benefits are, and then how to take the same type Force Multiplier strategy and apply it to video for even more page one positions. Okay, and then finally, we'll discuss speeding up indexing, which a lot of you guys have asked me about. So scraping for content, I use a tool called Content Machine. Now, a lot of you guys already know this. I'm going to send you a link to this. This is an affiliate link, so if you've got any kind of issues with with me getting me taking the misses out to be able to have a nice movie, going to you have a dinner at Mickey D's or something like that, then obviously you don't want to buy this or whatever from my link. That's okay. But this is what I'm using. This is the tool. Again, it's called Content Machine. I'll send you guys a link here in the chat box here in just a second. But essentially, what this does, I'll kind of give you an idea here. You can come in here, and this is going to scrape with different. It's got its own different places that it scrapes articles from, and it basically kind of merges them together. Okay, the content is not great. I'll tell you right now. Some of the content and some of the niches that I found is not bad, though. I would actually use it on a tier 1. Some of it I'll even use it on a money site, and I'm using it on these Force Multiplier pages. But the thing is, it's not 100% grade A content. The thing is, you've got to get it out of your head that you've got to have great content. It's just not reality. It's not true. Okay, so I'll send this to you guys. This is the link right here. Let me know you guys got that. I sent that to you in the chat box. Okay, cool. So basically what this does, like I said, this is going to go in and you can use a couple, you've got a couple of different options. You can use the built-in scraper, which is what I use most of the time. I use the built-in scraper. If you've got local files, what that means is like articles that you've had written that you've got on your own machine here, then you could plug those in with the scraper too. So it will basically combine them together. Or you can use just the local save files. I've never used this. I always use the scraper, and I've also mixed in some of the local files too. But you go in and then you give it a campaign name. Okay. So let's say we're going to use the drug rehab example before. We used that in one of the previous one of the last workshops that we did. We used drug rehab. What I want to do as the main keyword is I want to use something that's going to be somewhat generic that it will find plenty of articles on. Okay, so like I don't want to get too specific. Like some of you that may be doing some like affiliate products and things like that. If you get too specific here with your main keyword, it may not find the enough articles. So like if you're trying to do, let's say we're doing something like drones. So if you were to go in and do parrot drone or DJI Phantom 3 drone, if you did something like that, this may be too specific. Okay, so what I would do is if I was doing like a drone, I would just do drone. I would do quadcopter as my secondary keyword. I keep it more general. Does that make sense to everyone? So this main keyword, I'm going to keep it rehab, drug rehab, and let that be it. Does that make sense? Let me know in the chat box. Type in the chat box. You guys get that. Want to remain as general as possible because this is going out and scraping a ton of different sources. All right. So what we want to do here is this is your spinner. Okay, this will automatically spin this for you. You've got a couple of different options. Always use tier 1, no matter what. Always use tier 1. The spinner, I use Word AI. Word AI is the most expensive spinner that there is out there, though. If you've already got something else, then just use it. You don't think you got to get this one. This is what I use. I mix mine between Word AI and Spin Rewriter. Okay, so both of those I think are two of the best spinners that's out there. But if you've got something else, then just use it. Your content doesn't have to be great. Okay, so here's where you can plug in your images. You can go advanced, and you can plug in. This has got some different options for you. I don't use any of this. You can add your own content too. So you can mix in your own images as well as your own videos. Now sometimes I will do this. So like if I'm wanting to plug in my own images into these posts, then I'll plug in my images here. Okay. If I'm wanting to do my video, I plug in my own videos here. So you just do own, and then you just list your videos right in this box here. Is this making sense to everyone? Let me know in the chat box. You get this, that you're seeing this, and that this makes sense. Let me know in the chat box now. So we can keep moving forward. Gotcha. Scott, I don't think I can make the presentation mode any bigger. I don't know how to do that. Like it's going full screen. Okay. So what this is going to do is when we plug in our videos so step 1 would be create a video, upload it to YouTube. So then we plug in these videos right here, and what this is going to do is this is going to embed it into our content automatically. Okay, so it'll automatically embed it into our content. We just click apply. Okay, so then whenever we do that, we just simply go over here and we click the next button. And then this is going to allow us to plug in your keywords. Now, using Force Multiplier, I don't use any, allows me to put in my keywords with my anchors. Using Force Multiplier, I don't do that. Okay, I just put links to 0. I don't have any links at all. Now, you've got a couple of options here. What I do is I click Build Content. Okay, and what this is going to go out and do, this is going to, when you click Build Content, it's going to start scraping, and it's going to spin all of it for you, and it's going to spit it out into a format that you can then drop into Force Multiplier. So somebody just typed in the chat box here, said Scott can make the screen bigger in his go-to webinar window top left corner where it says Zoom. So I didn't know that. Thanks for the tip there. So yeah, just go to top left corner, Scott, and hit Zoom, and it should make the screen a little bit bigger there. So instead of going through and scraping it, because this will take a little bit of time, I'll just pull up one of my saved ones that I've done. You can see I've done quite a few of these here. So this is one that I just did for like payday loans. Okay, and so when I click Build Content, it'll take it just a minute here to populate. Let's see here. Okay, so this is it, right? So this is what I'm using for my content. So I just go in here and I click copy. This is what my body content is in Force Multiplier. So when we're here in Force Multiplier, and we're going to go to the Articles tab, I come in here and I'll type in, let's say, rehab in city state. And then in this content section, I'll go over here and I'll click the source code and I'll paste that. Okay? And so this now has my body copy in here. And what I like to do is I like to put in a few placeholders. And I know this is a payday loans article and we're using this example as a rehab. I'll go in here like where there's a break, like right here. And I'll include my placeholder. And I'll say something like, you deserve the best rehab center in city state, okay, or something like that. And then what I'll do is I'll make this like a heading 2, okay? So that way it's a sentence, but it's wrapped in a H2 tag, okay? So that way that's going to let the SEO bots come in. They're going to know that this is an important phrase, right? Whenever they are copying, whenever they're scanning my content, they're like, okay, this is a H2 tag. This is an important piece of content, okay? Michael says you have a warning that says not to put images and videos in the content, so do not skip that step in content. Yeah, I don't typically put in I don't put in images typically anyway. But the reason why that's put there, and the videos will go in there if you want to put them in there. But what I end up doing, and let me just show you, I will put them in this box here, and I will put them in this box here. Now the reason why that's important is because that will give you some randomization of where the videos and where the images are located. Okay, so it'll just randomize the placement of those videos and images. Okay, so just kind of clarify what that's about. And this is a lot easier instead of having to put in the code and all that stuff. So Everybody get it so far? Like what I'm doing to generate the content and how simple that is. This is not the embed code. This is just a video URL, just one per line right here. One per line. So someone asked, was this the embed code or video URL? It's just the video URL, and it will convert it into the embed code, and it will embed it on your page. What will happen if you? This is a question that comes in. What will happen if you don't spin the articles? Then you'll just have the same article on every single page. Okay, and I know Holly, for example. Holly, are you still there? I know Holly does. That's what Holly does. Holly, are you still there?
Yeah. Yeah.
You don't spin anything, do you?
I don't spin anything. I tested spinning versus non-spinning, and it doesn't make a difference at all. You won't get Duke content penalties or anything like that.
For me, I just like to I like to spin stuff. I'm trying to play it a little safer or whatever. So. Have you tried the playlist URL for different juices? No, I've not, Scott. What I will do is I will just put in a bunch of different videos in here that's related. And what that's going to do, that's going to do a couple of things. That's going to embed the videos, which is going to help you when it comes to rank, because Google, we all know that Google is rewarding, as well as YouTube, is rewarding sites based on embeds. That's a big ranking factor for YouTube videos right now, is how many times it's embedded. Links also play a role, but getting the embeds is actually going to kind of play into getting the videos ranked. So does force multiplier use to signal spinning text? It's the bracket. It's the little curly, brackets. Okay, so it's this right here. Make sense? Do I use other people's videos? Typically, I use my own. If I don't have anything in the niche, and a lot of these, I'm just putting out feelers. Sometimes I'll just grab a video that's related to the space. So, like, let's say if it's drug rehab, and we're going out and we're putting this all over, like drug rehab in city, state. A general drug rehab video will be just fine. So if I'm using, if I don't have a video, then yeah, I'll use somebody else's just a general drug rehab video. Can we randomize so we include videos in a percentage of the post? To me, like that, I don't think that's really important. As far as that goes. Now, if this was like a private blog network or whatever, something like that, then I would say, yeah, that's probably good. But you're looking at one site and you're going to be building, a lot of pages. So I wouldn't worry about that. So this is a question. It says, great platform, Derek. Is there plans to increase the number of posts per site? Here's my take on this, okay? And this is why we're not building out more posts, okay? If you're doing this, the best thing to do is to just target one keyword, okay? So these 3 posts here, these were built in if you wanted to do multiple keywords, okay? So I'm only doing one keyword. So when you see these posts, don't think of it in terms of like it's only 3 posts per site. That's not what it is. Because this one post is going to generate thousands of pages, okay? Does that make sense? I want to make sure everybody gets that. Does that make sense to everyone? So when you see these 3 posts, think of this as like 3 keywords, okay? So like first post would be like whatever your keyword is in city, okay? That's one article. Now, what that article is going to do, it's going to replicate what the number of cities and states that you've got plugged in here. Okay? This is it, Henry. This is it, Henry. This will determine how many pages that you publish is based on how many cities you select. So if you go through here and you select Alabama, Arkansas, you know, and you go to Arizona and you go to California, okay? Ever how many cities are in these 4 states, that's how many pages you're going to publish, okay? Now, that's going to be it. Now, you can go in here and you can select, if you want to delete specific cities, you can do that too, okay? So what you're doing, let me just pull this up right here. So let's just say post 1 is one keyword multiplied by, let's say we do 400 cities. Then you're going to have 400 pages. Does that make sense? Mike asked, have you ever published the entire U.S. at once? The most states I've done at one time has been 26. And it will publish all of them, but what will happen is it will take a little bit longer to generate the files. Okay? So what I tend to do, for me, what I like to do is I like to just go about it slower. I know Holly has a different opinion, and that's cool. But what I will do is I will go through and I will just do, like, say, 1 state, or I may do 3 states at once, and then 4 states, and then 5 states. You know, you could do all of them. It's just going to take a little bit longer to generate the file, maybe take a little bit longer to upload. This isn't WordPress. Okay, so someone asked about post pages. Don't even think about WordPress. This is not WordPress. It's not associated with WordPress. This is the content. This is the pages that you're going to have. So post number 1, that's one keyword, right? And then you multiply that by ever how many cities you select. So that's going to be 400 pages that you have that's out there on the web. 400 posts, 400 pages, 400 pieces of content that you want to get indexed to try to get to rank. Does that make sense? Yes, I'm focused on one keyword per campaign. Gotcha. So now what will happen is if you want to do a second keyword, you could have post number 2, and this will be the second keyword, and let's say you do it over that one over the same 400 cities. Well, you're going to have 400 pages for keyword number 2, a total of 800 posts or pages, ever what you want to refer to it as. Okay? And then if you want to go on to post number 3. Any more thought on adding a way to have Google AdSense code embedded? You should be able to add it into the article now. When we first launched it, there was a little glitch where it was stripping out some of the code, but we fixed that since then. So you should be able to add that into your post. I don't tend to add AdSense on my post or my pages. What I'm trying to do is I'm trying to scoop up as much of the low-hanging fruit as I possibly can and direct them to where I want them to go, which is either to a money page that has a call to action, like a phone number call to action, or if I want them to click on something. So, Holly, do you put ads on the individual pages? I'm just curious.
On my pay-per-call sites, I never put AdSense or Amazon on it because I want them to call. On my sites that I build for AdSense, I would, but not pay-per-call. No.
But I know the answer to this, but on the mass pages that you're building, like through Force Multiplier, You're not putting any AdSense on those because you don't want those to be found, right?
Right.
Yes. Okay, cool. So should I code HTML article if I know it? I mean, that's, you can go to the source and plug in the HTML if that's something you want to do. For me, I don't do that because I don't care what the content really looks like, to be honest with you. Okay, so let's move on here and get back on track. Kind of felt like we kind of chased a rabbit hole there. That's all good though. So I want to show you guys this real quick. I'll pause my screen for a second and find this site. Provided you guys don't make fun of my Photoshop skills anymore. I don't want to hear any more jokes about it. Real sensitive. Okay, so this scenario that I'm going to give you, give me just 1 second here. The scenario I'm going to give you is really geared toward a couple of different things. It's geared toward people that are doing any kind of local SEO, or if you're doing pay-per-call, or a combination of the two. Okay, so here's the idea, and I believe I touched on this a little bit last time, but here's the idea. I think you guys will appreciate this. So here's the idea. Let's say you got a client and they only want 5 cities. Okay, they only want 5 cities. They don't want any more. They're like, look, don't build us anymore. We can't service the rest of the state or whatever. So you got 5 cities that's going to client number 1. Okay, and let's just say hypothetically there's 200 other cities in that state. Okay, and you're like, well, I could publish these at the click of a button. What the heck do I do with them, right? What do we do? What to do, right? Well, using force multiplier, you can have these 5 cities directed at client number 1's phone number, and you can have a pop-up with their lander. Okay, for the rest of these 200 cities, you could do a completely different phone number and different pop-up lander. Okay, how many of you guys knew this was available in Force Multiplier? How many of you guys knew that this was available? Hey, Danny, send me a support ticket. Correctly. Okay. Cool. Okay, so yeah, Danny, just send me that, and we'll see what we can take care of that. Yeah. Okay. So here's the way that this is done. Let me just show you a real example. This is a page, and this is a crap page. Send this to you guys, and you can send this. You can see this. Okay, so you see the phone number that I've got here, and again, it's just garbage content to demonstrate how you could do this. All right, here's a completely different city. Completely different city. And you'll see phone number, completely different. Different in the title, different in the content. And here's another one. And look, on this one we included a pop-up, same site, but this is a different city. Okay, so I sent you those 3 links. I sent you those 3 links, and those are all using one campaign. One campaign, but as you can see, you've got different content. So how do you do that? Okay, it's real simple. Okay, so the first thing that you want to do, and I'm not going to go through the whole process, but you see the end result there. So what you do is you go to Add New, and you select the state that you want. Okay, so let's say it's Alabama. If we double click outside of those top 4, right? So these 4, we're going to have these. All right, we'll save that. And we go through next, and we create our post, and we put whatever service in city. Okay, and then you put in your copy, and you put in your phone number, whatever it is. Okay. I'm going to hit save. Now this is important right here. This is important. This is where you include the pop-up code if you want a pop-up code for those 4 cities that we just filtered out. Okay. This is where you put in the link. Okay. So if it's if you've got a landing page, for those 4 different cities, this is where you put the link to that, okay? And what's going to happen is it's going to display like this right here. It's going to be the overlay pop-up, okay? See, I just put in Better Business Bureau right here. Does that make sense? Cool. Okay. So what we do is we just continue, we go through the entire process of publishing it. Okay. So we walk through the next steps. So like next. All right. We plug in this information. So we're just going to put in something here. All right. And we click next. Okay. Now here, you would leave this pop-up code blank. You wouldn't put it here. This is a global pop-up. In other words, a global pop-up is going to be on every page, every sitemap page, all over the whole website. Okay? So you don't want to use this one unless you want the same one on every single page. So then we click next, we save this info, and then we obviously we publish it. Now, once we publish it, and we're done, like we've published those 4 pages, right? We come back in here and we delete the 4 cities that we had. Ones alone. We're going to hit save, then we're going to go to next, and then we're just going to change out our phone number. Okay, we hit save. If we want to put in a different pop-up URL, then we put that in there right there, and we click next, and we save the process, and we publish it all over again. Okay, does that make sense? So that's how you can get different phone numbers, different landing pages, or pop-up landing pages for different cities. So the way you would do this, if you got a client already, instead of just publishing 4 or 5 posts or pages for them, publish those and have them directed to their, to their stuff. But then, you can build out a ton of other pages and reap the rewards of having this massive monster site and you can direct them to CPA offers. If you wanted to, lease, have a number to where, hey, call this number if you're interested in owning this site, or hey, call this number if you're interested in renting and getting leads from this page. Okay? So does that make sense? Give me a number 1 in the chat box. Cool. Good deal. All right. The other thing, somebody said something about saving time. Yeah, it's a big time saver. One thing that you can do, I think I touched on this, is keep in mind when you get a niche and it's making you money, instead of just leaving that one site there, you want to start trying to think about replication. We're talking about taking it to the next level, right? You want to start replicating your efforts. You want to start cloning your efforts, because if you're making money with one site, do you think you're going to make money with 2 sites? Obviously, the answer is yes. So once you find the money makers, then you just keep building. You just replicate it. So what we do is you've got this where you can actually click this little button right here, and it will copy the entire campaign. So once you copy the campaign, then you can just go in and just change the domain names. You can change the IP address, the server location that you're going to be putting it on, and your cPanel login. Publish it, and you've got another site to try to make you some money. Does that make sense? So be sure you're using this clone feature. Be sure you're using this clone feature. Yeah, so when you copy campaign clone, would it help to use domains that are identical but use the .net, .org, .xyz, or make them different? I would use them a little bit different. That's just me, though. I would make them a little bit different. So would you republish the same keyword? You can do that. So what you can do is you can target the same keyword, or I used this as an example in a webinar yesterday. Let's just say, for example, let's say you're in the personal injury space. Okay, so you're in the personal injury space, and under the personal injury space, you've got like people that are getting that are looking for like dog bite attorneys, wrongful death attorneys. You're looking for automobile accident attorneys, truck. I was looking at this, and there's people there's different people. There's some doing automobile accident attorneys, and then you got some that are doing like truck accident attorneys, and I'm assuming that's like an 18-wheeler type stuff. But they all fall under the personal injury space. So what you can do is the first one, you can do like personal injury, right? You do personal injury, and then you can clone it. And since all the topic is so closely related, the next one you could do automobile injury in city, state. So that way you're targeting a little bit more of a micro niche, if you will, of personal injury, which is automobile accidents. Then you could clone and then target something totally different, like dog bites or wrongful death, or and you could just clone multiple campaigns, and it's basically all along the same niche, but it's targeting different little micro niches of that particular market. Does that make sense? Can you show us how to combine custom variables, keywords, and cities? I don't use a whole lot of variables, to be honest with you, Henry. That's there just for people that that need it. And I really don't use the custom variables that much, like hardly at all. Like I'm mainly using the city qualifiers and then the keyword. it's just there just in case you want it, right? So it's not something I typically use, but it's something that's there in case that's something you want to test out and work with. So let's get back to presentation mode again. We'll take all your questions here. So we've covered scraping for content. We've covered using the different landers, different phone numbers. I want to touch real quickly on using retargeting. Okay, so what you're doing is you're going to have people that are coming to your sites, and those people can be retargeted. So retargeting is where you have ads directed toward people that have visited your website. I've used this on my own stuff, and it works great to bring people back to your site, and you can use this in Force Multiplier as well. So the way that you do this is in the Design tab, you've got this header code, okay? Well, whenever you're doing retargeting, whether it's through Facebook or whether you're doing like AdRoll or Perfect Audience or something along those lines, they're going to give you a retargeting pixel or a retargeting code. This is where you put this, okay? This is where you're going to put this in the header. And what that's going to do is that's going to allow you to build a custom audience. Like if you're using Facebook, you can build a custom audience to drive people to your landing pages. Okay, so they come to the Force Multiplier page. Think about this. They come to the Force Multiplier page, whatever your niche is, whatever your topic is. Let's say they didn't fill out or whatever, they didn't fill out the form. Then you can have ads when they log into Facebook. Hey, you didn't complete the form. Go back here and send them back to your landing page, wherever it is that you want them to go. Okay, so it's like a reinforcement kind of thing. Does that make sense? But that's where you put that at. Make sense? Let me know in the chat box. I'm going to get a glass of water. And depending on what program you're using, some of you guys may be wanting to use tracking and things like that. You get whatever they tell you to put it in. If they tell you to put it in the header code or the footer code, this is where you include that. Does the Facebook pixel work in the iframe? That's a good question. Yeah, it should. Yeah, it should. I wouldn't see why it wouldn't. I've not tested that, but I can't see why it wouldn't. Yes, that is global. That's a global. Yes, the sidebars are global as well. Cool. All right. Okay. So we've talked about embedding the videos and that making your videos pop a little bit better to get more traction and get more rankings with the videos. But one of the things that you can do as well is once you start seeing results and you start seeing rankings, right? You start seeing rankings and you start seeing that you're making money from specific keywords and you're getting a little bit of traction on certain keywords. One of the things that you can do is use video to replicate the results, okay? And you can do this really, really quickly, very, very easily. It's not hard. You don't have to be great on camera. You don't even have to appear on camera if you don't want to. But there's a tool that you can use to kind of mimic what we're talking about here with, we're creating pages in mass. There's a way that you can create videos in mass too. How many of you guys have done this? Something very similar. Let me see a show of hands. One in the chat box if you've used like mass video type creation. Yeah, a lot of you have. Cool. So let me show you this right here. This is a tool that I'm going to show you while we're here. And this is an affiliate link, so this is going to giving you a heads up. Want to be straight up with you. Jack, remind me that question if just remind me of that. If I don't answer it right now, I will. Just remind me here in just a minute. If I don't answer that, I want to answer that because somebody else had that same question. I just don't want to get into that right now because it's kind of it's involving Excel. So just remind me on that. So I want to stay on track here. Just remind me. Okay, so this is a tool called it's called Video Spin Blaster. And what this will do is this will allow you to create a ton of different videos. So what you can do is you can add images, or you can add from your computer. That will basically go in and scrape for images as well to plug into videos. Now, the main thing that I use this for is I use the video spinner. Okay, so what I will do is I will add a single video, right, where it says add single video, or you can add a folder with videos. So I use this a lot of times. You'll see this happen in a lot of the launch space where somebody has a JV video, okay, and I'm just showing you how I use this in most instances, but you can also use this with force multiplier. It works really well. So with the JV videos in a lot of the launch jacking type scenarios, somebody does a JV video, I'll download the video, and then I'll add it in here. And what this will do is this will edit the videos for you and put a watermark. So you can add an image watermark if you want to, or you can add a text watermark. And so, like, let's say it's yoursite.com, right? Yoursite.com. You can add a watermark. You can position the bottom, top left, top center, wherever you want it. And I just heard a pop here in my microphone and my my headset. I want to make sure you guys can hear me okay. Can you still hear me okay? Let me know in the chat box. Okay, I thought I lost you. Sorry about that. Okay, so you can add a watermark for the video. Now, this is what's cool, is you can cut, let's say you want to cut each video to where it's not the same audio length, right? Let's say you want to, it's a 2-minute video or a 3-minute video, and you want to shave anywhere from 10 to 35 seconds off the start of the video. I want you to think of how awesome this is. So you can go out and crank out spin just a ton of videos, and you're shaving off, say 10 seconds, 20 seconds. So now all of a sudden you're taking one video and you're making it into 50 or 100, and each of them have different lengths. And I said lengths like timeline, not like a backlink, like links like. I know with my southern accent, you probably, yeah, it might be kind of confusing. But basically, you've got 50 different videos with different time length. Okay? Yeah, no problem, y'all. I like that, Dale. Yeah. So you guys you see how powerful this is, right? Cool. So this allows you to, the niches that you're making money with, you could come in here, create one video, expand it into 10 or 15, and then start targeting those to take up multiple spots of your money makers. Okay? So you're basically able to come in here, spin a bunch of videos, and then put those out there, and now all of a sudden you're covering more space using force multiplier to go out and find a lot of these keywords, the ones that you're making money with. You want to duplicate your efforts, then you want to turn around, you want to take the videos and make one video and then expand it into 10, 15, or 100 different videos and plug those out there to take up even more spots on the first page of Google. Does that make sense, John? Holly, are you still there?
Yeah, man, I'm here.
Do you use this? Have you ever used this?
I use LSG, and because that will auto upload it for me. But I'm doing live streams.
Gotcha.
So that's why I use it.
So the first step
I think I use something similar to this though, and is this a program that's been out for a while?
I don't know how long it's been out. I've had it for about a year, and
Yeah.
I don't know exactly how long it's been out, but it's pretty cool. So when you get done with this, you can just click spin videos, and this is going to pump out ever how many copies of that video that you want. So let's say it's 50 or 75 or whatever. So you plug those in there, and you let it rip. Okay, now that you got the videos created, now you got to upload them. Okay, so you got a couple of different options using that. Number one, you can just upload them to YouTube, which is what I recommend, because YouTube video is going to get you the most traction. Okay, somebody asked, do you upload them all in the same channel? I would. It's not going to hurt anything. Yeah, if you're wanting to get real sophisticated, then what you can do is you can use Hootsuite. Hootsuite, there's an add-on within Hootsuite that will allow you to upload to different channels, and you can upload in bulk. So if you wanted to upload, 10 or 20 different videos, then you can upload them all at the same time. So if you're doing a lot of video, then that might be an option that you want to do. Something else you can do is you can use GSA to submit to Dailymotion. So it will submit to Dailymotion for these videos, and then you can use GSA obviously to backlink the videos if that's something that you want to do. Again, this is just if you're wanting to take this stuff to the next level. Start using Force Multiplier, clone the projects once you see that you have money makers, and then once you start seeing the money makers, you start getting some traction on those. Then start using the videos to start really expanding your efforts and being able to take up more than one spot on the first page of Google. Does that make sense how we're using that? I just want to make sure that everybody gets the gist of that. Let me know in the chat box. Okay, cool. Dale asked, can Holly comment on whether she feels that live stream is giving her better SEO over Hangouts?
Over Hangouts, they are. I think the best option is YouTube Live. If you don't want to do live streaming, then do the uploading like Derek says. I think your last option is really Hangouts. And just because of the quality of the videos, I think at Hangout you just get too much fuzziness, and it annoys me, so that's why I do it other ways now.
I think you'll agree with me on this though, Holly, but that even though the live streaming type option, what it really does is it gives you an immediate kind of pop.
Yeah.
But over the long haul, if you're not backlinking and you're not embedding, then just a regular uploaded video will overtake that.
Yeah, because eventually they'll drop within probably 5 to 7 days if it's medium competitive. If it's easy, that's different. But I make my video, upload it, do my embeds. So I mean, I don't know if there's like a huge difference or not. I don't know.
Yeah, I've not seen any like over a longer period of time outside of like a week or so. Like a week, I see an immediate pop using YouTube Live versus everything else. But over the long haul, where just uploading a video, I'll see if I'm not doing embeds and backlinks and all that stuff, then the video is going to fall anyway. Okay, it's just kind of the way it is. So here's the cool thing too. Like you got a couple of different options on the videos. You can send them directly to a landing page, right? You can send them directly to a landing page, which is cool. But what you want to do is you can also include a backlink to your the pages that you're trying to rank, like the force multiplier pages. You can put a link back to them in the description because these are good quality links. That's going to give your sites even more clout and more credibility. Okay, so you're not going to get, you don't have anything to worry about if you're getting links from YouTube. That's only going to improve your authority and only going to improve the quality of your site as you're making these posts. So hope that kind of clarifies kind of how we're able to do that and how we're able to do it pretty quickly. And if you set your day up to where, okay, we got to make a video today, and then we're going to go out and we're going to just crank out this spin all these videos. And then you go out and you publish them, and you find that you're doing a lot of publishing, then use the Hootsuite option, right? Hootsuite, again, will allow you to go in. There's a feature in Hootsuite that it's a app that's, I think it's like another $3 a month or something like that on top of what you're paying in Hootsuite, and you can go in and upload videos in bulk. So that way you're not having to go in and upload them one at a time. So it makes it a little bit easier as far as time saving. You can go in and upload 50, 100 videos in just a few hours. So hope that okay, Holly, this is where I want you to kind of take the rope or take the bull by the horns. Faster indexing. Everybody's talking about, faster indexing, needing faster indexing, things like that. Why this is important? Faster indexing means your site's getting found in Google. Just because you publish a page in Google doesn't mean anything, right? So you want to try to work and get this thing indexed as fast as possible. So that's why I brought Holly on, is because she is the person that I go to for indexing stuff really, really quick. And she's got a software called Badass Indexer. A lot of you guys probably have it. You guys probably, most of you already have it. If you don't have it, let me know in the chat box right now. Let me know if you've never heard of it, or if you don't have it, let me know in the chat box by hitting 1. Oh, okay. Quite a few people. Gotcha. Yeah, I thought everybody on here had it. Okay, cool. Holly, have you got it open or anything? Have you got
I can show it. Do you want me to, though, send a list of stuff that I was just working on today that's not indexed, or do you want to send me a list? I mean, I can just use my list.
I just wanted you to just basically just show them how. Yeah. Well, you don't even have to show a sample. I just wanted to show them how it worked, kind of the whole process. This is I'm gonna send you guys a link. Holly's got a coupon code too that we're gonna give you. Don't you? Don't you have a coupon code? Didn't you say something about that?
Yeah. I think it's 50. Oh my God, funny. I think it's 50 off mail. I better make sure. Is that what I told you? I told people.
Yeah, I don't know what you say so much, Holly. I can't keep up with it.
That's true.
I'm just kidding.
All right, it's 50 off mail, so you'll get it for $50 cheaper.
Nice.
Which is a pretty good deal.
So it's just 50 off. Okay.
It's 50 off mail. That's you gotta put the mail in too.
You gotta put in what now?
50 off mail. MAIL.
Hang on.
Dude, I'll put it in the chat box too.
you
I can only send it to you though. I think.
Yeah. Okay. I got it.
Okay.
We're on top of it, guys. I promise you. That's the coupon code. That's the key. Yeah, 50 off mail. I'll just send it to you guys. That'll get you $50 off. So yeah, I'm gonna change the presenter to you, Holly. Whenever you get all the inappropriate stuff off your computer.
Yeah, I better do that right now. All right, I'm good. That only took me 2 seconds, right? All right. So about indexing. So this is the Badass Indexer. A little background about the indexing. I have another indexer called Incredible Indexer. We built it about a year and a half ago. It was built more towards mass production mass GSA links, but it wasn't indexing as well as I would like to after like 8 months of using it. So we had to find a loophole in Google's back end, and we found it, and then we ended up making the script. I've been using it for probably, I want to say 8 to 10 months, and it's still working as good as it was 8 to 10 months ago. We do a lot of updates on it because there's some CAPTCHAs that we have to work with. So whenever there's an update, it happens once a month. It's just something that, you have to deal with. But that's Google. They're just trying to make it more difficult for me. So basically we have, it's simple and it's really ugly, but ugly is good for I like ugly. Even my sites are ugly because then I know it works, I guess. So real easy. The user list is Gmails that are PVAs, which is a personal verified account. Basically, you just have to phone verify it. If you get it through Derek, I send you like 15 to 20 free accounts, so you'll be set up anyways. The URL list it looks something like this. You just put your URL. You don't have to have backslashes or anything like that. You just put your basic URL in. And then this is something that we just did an update on this week. It will output your successes and it'll output your fails, and then you can rerun the failed URLs. Before, we used to have to run it through Scrapebox and find out what was indexed, and it was kind of another step people weren't really happy with, so we added that in. We used 2CAP or anti-cap APIs. You have to use one or the other. The settings, I suggest 3 seconds per URL submission per account, and then each account will do 20 URLs. You can run a scheduler. I run the scheduler in the evening because if you're doing indexing during the day, a lot of times you're going to get 100% overload on these services. So I schedule mine to do like from 8 p.m. to 4 o'clock in the morning. And when I wake up in the morning, it's already ran, and I have stuff indexed. So it kind of works for me. If you're going to run it during the day, you're going to get some fails. So it's kind of just something you have to deal with. That's all it is. It's really, really simple to set up. You just put that all in, and then you hit start. And how many do I have? Like 44 URLs. So I told it to do 20 URLs per account, so it pulled 3 accounts. So it's doing 3 accounts at one time, but it's doing 1 URL in each account. And I run this on a VPS. I know people who run it on their home computers, and it runs perfectly fine. It's not RAM heavy. You need to have Java installed. I mean, you can get it needs to be a USA VPS. That's the only thing. Like if you're in France or Australia, United Kingdom, you have to have a USA VPS because of how the script works and because of the accounts that I send you, because they're all USA. So now it's just going to run through 20 URLs. Normally takes on any given day probably maybe it's like 30 seconds per URL, so it might take like 15 minutes or something like that. And once it's done, it's like immediately going to work. It's going to get indexed within 30 seconds to 1 minute. If it does not get indexed, it's not going to get indexed. That's just the way. I mean, I shouldn't say that. In most cases, if it does not index right away, wait 24 hours and check it again. If it doesn't index within 24 hours, I would hit it again. I mean, I want to say 90% of the stuff that I send through gets indexed within 1 minute. You're doing things like citations, like Yelp, any kind of citations. It's rougher to index. Like you're going to get annoyed with it because it's not going to want to index it. You do things like PBNs, it indexes at like I want to say it indexes at 90 to 95%. If you're doing Web 2.0s, depends upon your Web 2.0, it indexes at 90 to 95%. You can actually send your embeds through here. You can send your YouTube videos through there. You can send GSA links through here. you can be really creative on how you send the links through. You just put them on a sitemap and send the sitemap through, and the sitemap will get indexed, which the links in the sitemap will then get crawled. So
I want to show you something real quick, or I want to talk real quick. Is that yesterday Holly put in a link for me with a sitemap, and today we've got 8 pages already indexed. As Brent, the domain was bought yesterday. The garbage content was put up yesterday, and then we ended up she ended up throwing in one link. The site is the indexing is going to bounce a little bit, or at least this has been my experience. So when you come in there, and I know somebody mentioned this in the Fight Club group as well. When you get, like, let's say you get hundreds of pages indexed, right? And you're like, oh man, we're on our way, blah, blah, blah. Be prepared. It could happen where that number shrinks. Don't freak out or anything like that. Don't freak out because the site will come back. What it's doing is it's just dancing. Is that fair to say, Holly?
Yeah, it's going to dance. I mean, and that's normal. It'll dance for 3-4 days. You'll see it come in, and then you'll see it pop out, and then it'll come back in. And I'm indexing sitemaps right now, so it's not going to, my main website is not going to show to be indexed, and I don't think the sitemap is going to show, but if I did the regular UL, you would see it. But I do the sitemaps, so yeah, that's pretty much the indexer. I mean, it's not really complicated. If you struggle with it, just hop on Skype or whatever, Facebook, and I'll help you guys out. So
nice. Give me just a second, Holly. I'm pulling up something real quick because somebody was asking like how to take the and this kind of goes along in line with what you're talking about here too, about how to get the links into specific formats from Force Multiplier. So I just want to make sure that we can do that. Let me.
Okay. I can show while you're doing that. I can show the home page getting indexed on a couple of these quick.
Does anybody? Let me just ask this: does anybody have a site they just published that they want?
Yeah, we could do that too.
Anybody type it in the chat box. Let's see. You got, and by the way, if you don't mind us showing that, is that okay, Dan? Is that okay, Dan? If she shows that? Yeah. Okay. Okay. No. Yeah. So anybody, if you don't mind showing the URL, then pop it in there. Otherwise, if you don't want it shown, then don't pop it in there. Okay. There's one from Russ, Holly.
Okay.
Yeah, you can put in there. The other ones don't put in there because they didn't want it. They don't want their site shown. We had several people pop in real quick, but
you want to put it in the chat box? I don't see it in the question box. Actually, I don't have the question box. That's why.
Okay, hang on just a second. I don't know why. Oh, I know what it is. So if I send it to you.
So I can show that one?
Yeah.
Okay. So those are.
And let me make sure that one's not indexed. Oh, he's already got 33 pages indexed.
Yeah, I'd have to have one that's, not indexed, huh?
Yeah, if you guys have got one that's not in, that you've just put up that is not indexed, then let us know in the chat box. If you don't mind.
Sorry.
Let's see here.
I mean, I have these two that are not indexed, so I can quickly run it through.
Actually, John, you've already got 2 pages indexed on that one. Yep. John F. Another John. Sorry. You're able to see, like, you're able to preview the articles. You're able to preview the articles beforehand. So. I'll show you how to do that here in just a minute.
Yeah, so that's pretty much what the indexer does. It's going to take like a couple minutes. Good Lord, it's being slow today.
All good. So what we'll do is we'll come back to that if you want to, Holly, and give me just another second or two, and I'll be able to. Man, sometimes it just things are just have to.
This is a bad day for GTW. I got kicked out twice today. It's just it's dumb. All right, so we have 2 successes now. So one that's been like 5 seconds. Let's check it. The top 2 are already indexed. So now I have 3. I had 2 just a minute ago. So it indexed like, did you guys see that? Like 5 seconds. That's crazy. Used to be like it took hours and hours and hours. Now this is like instant indexing. Which is nice because when we build, we build 10 sites at once. We build them, and I don't want to buy more domains if it's not going to be a winner. I don't mind wasting money like $10 for here and there, but I don't want to spend all that money and all that time and then have it not rank. So getting an index right away, you're going to be able to find out within 24 to 48 hours. So now all 4 of them are. So when I started, they weren't indexed. Now all 4 of them are.
Adrian asked, what is the cost of the index? The cost is $300. That's a one-time fee, no monthly fee or anything like that. Am I right, Holly?
It's $300, but you have a $50 coupon. So it's $250.
And use the coupon that I sent you in the chat box, too, because that's that coupon's still active. The one that's on the page is not active. So just use the one that I sent you in the chat box. Now, I want to show you guys something real quick, too. I'm going to change the presentation mode back to me and show my screen. And you guys should see the force multiplier screen again. So someone asked me, like, okay, what do we do in terms of, like, getting the keywords and the URLs that we've got, So, like, for example, for what you're doing with Holly, you're going to need to get the URLs. What I recommend that you do is you go right here to sitemap, and you get the sitemaps indexed. So you get the sitemaps here, you get the state sitemaps indexed as well, and the quicker you get those indexed, the other pages are going to follow because it's going to come crawl this page. So what you can do, and to answer Danny real quick, he was asking if you can preview it. You just click this little preview button, and this gives you an idea of what the post is going to look like. Okay, so you just click preview, and that's it right there. Okay. All right, so exporting links. So you can go right here where it says export, and you just click download me, and we're going to save this file, and we're going to save this to the desktop, and I'm going to name this something else. Derek is the man .zip. How about that? So that's going to do a zip file. So we're going to have to extract the zip. So we're just going to extract it. Okay, so this is the file, this text file, right? So it's all these links. So what you do is you just open up Excel, and we're going to open up Derek is the man, okay? If we can find it, that is the question. There it is, okay? So we're going to open this up, and we're going to open this up. It's a text file, okay? So what we want to do is we want to open this up as a delimited file. Click Next, and then what you're going to do is separate it with a comma, and then finish, okay? So this will give you all the keywords right here. So that way if you want to put this into a rank tracker, then and use these if you're using something like GSA, and let's say you want to plug them into a backlinking campaign, you've got them here that you can just copy and paste them over. Make sense? Does that make sense? Let me know in the chat box. Yeah, Danny, I have no idea what's going on with the audio. I'm just trying to make the best out of it because I think it's something GoToWebinar is doing. Yeah, so what happens is you've got these sitemaps that's automatically generated from Force Multiplier. You don't have to do anything. Sitemaps, okay? So you can see this has got all the cities. So these are the ones that you want to drop in. The indexer is the sitemap as well as the state sitemaps, okay? Make sense? Do you find putting the phone number in the title helps conversions? It's just going to depend on, if you're, what kind of niche that you're in. If it's something like a emergency niche, like a locksmith or something like that, I believe that's going to help you because people are going to be able to see the phone number in the search results because that's the title. So Scott sees one of my, this one right here. My programmer, we were trying to we were testing some different. This is just a dummy site, by the way. You may see this site go down. You may see some weird stuff on the site. This is not something we are trying to monetize at all. This is just us testing different functionalities of the program. So, anyway, yeah. So this is one of the posts that he put up. When he was testing a different thing, and I have no idea what that was about. So sorry about that, guys. I saw that, and I was hoping nobody else did. So I don't use that kind of language ever. My wife would argue with me on that. Let's see here. Okay. Will this be available in the members area? Yes, touched on that at the very beginning. Maybe you come in late, but if not, this will be right here where you go to tutorials, bonus workshop, and that's where it's going to be. Both of them will be up there. Can you address hosting resources, bandwidth, disk space? I'm kind of dumb with that kind of stuff, just to be straight up with you. I set mine up, I think, to have a gig of in host 9 is what I have mine set, and I haven't had any issues. Holly, are you pretty? Have you tested that out, the different bandwidth and the space and all that stuff?
I'm going to be. I'm putting up those 18 sites this weekend, so I'll know more. But it's host 9 is going to be fine for it. If you're going to do something. Like I was going to do OVH, but because I don't have, I don't know if OVH is going to, I'm going to put them on host 9 is what I'm saying. OVH, it might work and it might not work, but since you use H9, I'm going to use H9 too.
Let me show you how I've got mine set up. Because I've had a couple of people ask me about this. So let me go right here to. So when you go to host 9 and you get a reseller account, that's what I recommend that you get. You're going to. My thing just beeped again, so I don't know if my audio is going out or not, but this is the way I've got my packages set up. So you'll see I've got my bandwidth set at 2,000 and my quota is 1,000. Okay, so if I see that I'm going over that, I'll just modify it. Okay, so for the most part, this has been fine for me. Some of them have, when I started getting a little bit more traffic and things like that, I'll get a notification from host 9 that says, hey, you're about to exceed your bandwidth. And so what I'll do is I'll go in and I'll up it. And I've had to do that on several one. Ma, were you here at the very beginning of the call? We kind of touched on that. We covered that in pretty great detail. Let me know what time did you come in late? Okay, yeah. Watch the replay because that was a big part of the very first portion. I think you'll appreciate it because it's something that we didn't even really advertise with Force Multiplier whenever it come in. I had the earlier question about overriding pages that are already published. Have you talked about that already in the replay? No, I didn't talk about that. If you want to just overwrite a page, then just be sure that it's in your list here. So like if you've got this right here, Alaska, Alabama, Arkansas, just be sure the cities that you've got in here and just save it. And once you do that, once you go through the process, then you'll have to deploy it back to the server and it'll overwrite what's already there. Not a third webinar. No, this is it. Okay, so a couple other things real quick. Let me show you host9.com. Let me just show you this. All right, so reseller is what you want. And this gives you a couple of different options, okay? So you can see you've got the first option is 19. This will be 19 domains that you can host, okay? 19 different accounts. This is fine to start off with. You know, this is perfectly fine to start off with. Once you outgrow that, then you can get bumped up to this 99 accounts, okay? And then once you outgrow that, you can bump up to this. You don't have to start out at 199 right off the bat. Just go in here and start out at 19, and you'll be fine. You'll be able to create 19 accounts with it. And what you do, and just let me show you this. When you go to create a new account, you are going to go in and you're going to plug in your domain name, right? Username, password, email, all that good stuff. Now, a lot of people are asking about different IP addresses. This is where you're going to get a different IP. So what you do is you select the location. Usually they have more than this. Some of their servers are full. But you see right here, US Central, that's going to be site number 1. When you come back here to add site number 2, you're going to go to the UK. When you come back to add site number 3, you're going to add US East. When you come back to add site number 4, you're going to go to Toronto. When you come back to add site number 5, you're going to go back to Melbourne. Okay? What this does is this is putting your site on different locations all over the world, which is in turn giving you different IP addresses. Okay? So then what you do is you wait a few days or whatever before you start publishing the other one, and then you start back at the top. On these servers more other than just yours. These are all shared, okay, with other people, just mom and pop shops, other business owners, other websites, bloggers, natural looking sites, right? So what you want to do is that once the server is going to eventually fill out, and then they're going to issue a new IP address. Okay, so that's the trick to getting multiple IPs without having to pay more money for IP. Does that make sense? Let me know in the chat box. Is the reseller account considered a shared account through though? It's a reseller account. What I'm saying is when they give you these, this is a share, like they're sharing this with other users. Okay, so like me and you may end up having a domain on the same IP address. Okay, so it's basically a shared account, but this is a reseller account is what you want. The reseller account is going to allow you to pick your server location. Yeah, I just leave this. I'll leave this right here for me. You can click non-install, but I will typically leave that. Yeah, so this is what I use for a lot of PBN. You'll see I've got accounts 199 out of 200. That's 200 domains. This is just one hosting account that I have. Got a ton of them. Spent a ton on hosting. Yeah, so this is perfect for starting out with a PBN. Yes, because of the separate IPs. Yes. And I did a full blown training on this for PBNs called PBN Profit Lab. I'm not sure if you're aware of that. But I did a pretty extensive course on that shows you how to look for the right stuff, the right PBNs, and how to go about and not overpay for domains and things like that. I did a full-blown training on it. So, all right, let me get back here to presentation mode here. Let's see. The Host9, the monthly fee on that, it just depends on how big of a site, how many sites you've got, right? If you're just starting out, start off with this first one. You're looking at $13.99 a month is what this is. Okay, and you see you got data centers in these different locations. Okay. You can use, someone asked, is cPanel the only way to publish the sites? You can use FTP. Let's see here. In this scenario, while I'm doing this, another scenario, somebody asked me how I was using this mostly. I'm using this to generate a lot of city lead gen type stuff. I'm starting to target some of my business toward lead gens and doing some pay per calls on some higher end type stuff like personal injury, drug rehab, that sort of thing. I'm still doing affiliate marketing, like what I've taught you guys in the past, the old school stuff. The mass page stuff has kind of intrigued me over the last year, and so that's kind of the angle that I'm using this with. You can still do affiliate marketing using mass page. I know Holly's done that, but for me, I'm geared more toward doing more pay-per-call type stuff with it. Let's see here. cPanel. Okay, so cPanel. What you can do in addition to the cPanel, in case you're having trouble with your host. Okay, some of you got quirky host or whatever. It just doesn't coordinate with what we're doing here. You can always download the site. So you just click download here, and this is going to download this, and you can use this file that is going to do it in a zip file. You'll have to extract it. Once you extract it, you can upload it through FTP. Okay, so what's the best use of your time to do this? Okay, if you're doing FTP, come in here, in Force Multiplier, crank out one campaign after another. Just crank them out as fast as you possibly can. Download the files, and then FTP them while you're away. That's the easiest way to do it. Just like while you're getting a cup of coffee, or for me, I watch Andy Griffith every day. That's something you guys probably didn't know about me, but I like some of the simpler things in life. I live in Alabama, and for me, that kind of takes away this whole electronical type thing that I'm doing, and kind of simplifies what I do, and kind of, anyway, it's kind of a getaway or whatever. So for me, I'm not, somebody asked here about how critical is it to use the disclaimer pages. I feel like it just gives it a little bit more clout. Half the time I don't even do it. I don't feel it's necessary. I just feel like it does give it a little bit more clout as far as looking like a legitimate site. So when you clone it, when you clone a site, cloned locksmith, copy, okay, we're done. So then you just go in here, and this is where you would if you want to change your post, if you wanted to change this to a variation of a keyword. So like in this case, you got locksmith. So let's say you wanted to do emergency locksmith. You could change it to that right here in the cPanel info. This is the server that you're going to put it on. Whatever your cPanel host is, you just change that. Yeah, Grant says disclaimer pages are important if you're doing AdSense. I think I'm not using AdSense on these pages. I'll just be straight with you. I believe that you're not supposed to do it on like mass-generated pages. Holly may know the answer to that, but that's something I just don't use AdSense at all.
Yeah, if you use AdSense on these mass page creators, first off, you're going to get your AdSense code indexed, which means that I can come find your sites. Just a warning there. Second thing is if AdSense comes and looks, they're going to ban your AdSense account right away because it's mass page creation. They don't like that kind of stuff. So it would be better to do something like pay-per-call leads, Amazon.
You're going to make more
Even
money.
Amazon looks down on it.
You're going to make more money with that too,
Yeah.
So if you're dead set on doing AdSense, use AdSense on the pop-up, right? You can do that, or the overlay pop-up. You can use AdSense on that because they're not going to know where the traffic's coming from. It's going to look like a legitimate site. Awesome, Michael. Okay. So let's get back to presentation and wrap this thing up. We've been going almost 2 hours. So hope you guys have enjoyed this so far. How many of you guys have enjoyed what we've done? Let me know in the chat box. Cool. Good stuff. Yeah, if you didn't catch everything, go back and watch the replay. Highly recommend it. I'll have it up as soon as I possibly can. And so let's get back here to this presentation mode and start wrapping this thing up. So that was my question. If you like this and you like to get on a webinar with me, I have an Inner Circle program. I don't push it a whole lot, but this is something that you guys can check out. If you go to trafficdiesel.com/waiver, basically what I've done is I've taken out I waived the first initial $197 fee, and basically what you can do is you can get in just at the face value of the monthly, so it's $49 a month. Normally it's $197 and then $49 a month, but since you guys just purchased Force Multiplier, I'm giving you a break on that. Let you guys know the people that were in the Inner Circle knew about Force Multiplier and knew what I was testing weeks ahead of launching the program, and then got a discount on the software as well. So that's kind of some of the advantages of joining in the group. Now, here's the thing. We meet on the first and third Mondays of every single month, and I'd put together, some trainings and things like that. This offer is not you're not going to get a barrage of emails about it or anything like that. I'm just putting it out there. If it's something that you want, take advantage of it. It's something I don't offer a whole lot, and it's something that I don't discount. Okay, so I think anybody that's in the inner circle knows that it's good stuff. They can vouch for it, and this is a good opportunity to get involved with it. So anyway, guys, I appreciate you being here. Thanks for investing in Force Multiplier. Thanks, Holly, for being here. And let me know if you guys need anything. If you're not a member of the Fight Club group, let me know. I'll shoot you guys a link. I think most of you are part of it. If you just go into Facebook and just search for SEO Fight Club or Derek Pierce Fight Club, you'll be able to see it. Join it. I'll approve you and take part in the conversation. Thanks for being here, guys. We're going to wrap this up, and I'll send you I'll put this replay up again in the members area, so look for that. And again, thanks so much for being here. Talk to you guys later on.